Hello and welcome to the Faded Wildflower Crochet. My name is Rachel, and I woke up in a bit of a funk today, you guys. I'm not going to lie. And I thought, to get myself out of said funk, why not give myself a little crochet challenge today? Now, I have done a video before where I took a random animal and a random theme and made a cute plushie out of it. So I thought, let's do that again, but to add an extra element to it. Once I pick my random animal and my random theme, I am only going to allow myself to use Dollar Tree yarn to complete that project. So without further ado, let's go ahead and spin our wheel. Okay, I've got my laptop here. We are ready to spin. Why am I nervous? Okay, what is it? An owl! Oh my goodness. That is so funny. You guys know, if you've been watching my channel, I love owls. They're one of my favorite animals. I have owls here in the background, so that is awesome. Okay, now let's pick our theme. Go ahead and spin and find out what we're getting. Do I get so nervous when it's time to spin? Floral? Is it going to be floral? A floral themed owl. Oh my goodness, that sounds like so much fun. This is so funny to me because way back in the beginning of my channel, I decided to use ChatGPT to pick a random project for me, and it picked an owl, and then it picked like earth themed colors or something like that. I can't even remember the exact prompt it gave me, but don't go watch that video because it is old and probably not very good. But I think it's kind of funny because we're basically going to be doing a different version of that one. That one was like more leaf themed, I think, or like woodsy leafy theme. I think that was the thing that AI gave me. And then this one is going to be an owl, but it's going to be a floral owl. And I think that sounds like a lot of fun. So the next step is to go to the Dollar Tree. I actually live within walking distance to a Dollar Tree, so I'm going to walk there. I'm only going to allow myself that one trip to find everything that I need. Now, my Dollar Tree never has crochet hooks, so I am going to allow myself to use my own crochet hook, my own stuffing, and my own scissors and all that. But I am going to only get yarn from the Dollar Tree, and anything that I want to use for the eyes, anything like that, I'm going to get only at the Dollar Tree and only in this one trip. So let's go. So it is several days / weeks later. Life got in the way, which is very rude of life, but you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. But I wanted to show you all of the yarn that I got for this project. I definitely got more than I needed. So as I showed in the clips, there was really not that many options, and it was a very messy section. Sometimes when you go into my local Dollar Tree, it is nice and organized, and then other times it's absolute chaos. You never know what you're going to get. So let me walk you through the process of my thinking when it came to getting yarn for this owl. So the first yarn that I saw that caught my eye was this Just Chenille Medley, which I have used this one other time in the blue version to make a dinosaur for my nephew, and I love the way it came out. So this really caught my eye, and I thought that that could kind of look like owl feathers. And since it's black and white, I was like, well, let me Google a black and white owl and see what that looks like. And I found this picture, which I didn't even know this type of owl existed, but oh my goodness, it's perfect and it's so cute. So we are going to make the body of the owl in this color right here. And then I got some regular Just Chenille in black, and this was the only skein they had in just solid black. So I hope that it's going to be enough. I did get 2 of these. This is the only one they had in just plain black, but I am just going to be using this for the face and the wings. So I think this should be enough. And then for the floral element, I did go ahead and pick up 4 different colors of the Just yarn. And I think my plan is to make our little owl a floral sweater. I think it would be really cute to make some sort of flower granny square and do that front and back. and then sew it together and then do some little sleeves and make that into a little sweater for our owl. That's the plan anyway. I didn't sketch it out this time. Usually I like to sketch out my ideas, but I thought we would just kind of go for it and just see how it goes along the way. Now, the other thing that I got are these beads right here, these wooden beads. I thought I could use the black ones for the eyes or maybe even the white ones, depending. But I think ultimately I decided I'm probably not going to be using these. I think what I'm going to do instead is to, like I said, make the face with this black color and then just embroider some eyes in the white and then use this yellow for the beak. I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. I just don't really know how these beads would look. And you can kind of tell that they're not like the best quality in the whole wide world. So I don't know. I might find a different way to use these in this project though. I don't really know what I would do with them. I don't know. We'll see. But these might have just been an unnecessary purchase. But I was thinking I got to come up with something for the eyes, not really thinking that I could just embroider eyes. I'll probably just do kind of like curved lines to represent the eyes. So I think that means it is time to get started. I think I am just going to use my trusty old snowy owl pattern, which is by this artist on Instagram. I never know how to pronounce their name, but I will have it linked down below, of course. And I am just going to go ahead and make the whole thing in this color right here. Like I said, I do have 2 of these, so it should be plenty. And then we will work on the face details from there. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm really excited. I forgot to mention that I actually did see some crochet hooks while I was there. I think I said in my other clip, my Dollar Tree never has crochet hooks. Well, they actually had some this time, but they were just plastic. And I think that they were in, I can't even remember. I think it was like a 5mm or something like that. And I know that I use a 4mm for this yarn. So I knew it was going to be the wrong size. I knew I wasn't going to really like it. So it seemed like a waste to buy it. But I actually did go back to Dollar Tree in between filming, and I saw some just ergonomic metal crochet hooks, which I think is the first time I've ever seen at my Dollar Tree. And again, they were in the wrong size. I think they were even bigger. I think they were like 5.5 and 6 or something like that. So they weren't going to be the right size, but I did think that was funny. I was like, my Dollar Tree never has crochet hooks, and then they had some. But again, I am going to be using the rest of my own supplies. I am just going to be using my own stuffing, my own hook, all of that. But I am going to use only this yarn right here, which I definitely have plenty of yarn to do this project, and maybe even enough to make 2 of these owls. I got so much yarn, but I wanted to have more than I needed instead of, not enough. So anyways, without further ado, we are going to get started on the crochet. Okay, here is where we are at so far. You may have noticed that I did, in fact, use a 5mm crochet hook, which I said at the beginning, I usually use a 4mm crochet hook with this yarn, which is true. But for the life of me, I cannot find my Clover 4mm. So I am just using this 5mm. I do feel like there are a little bit of gaps in there, but nothing too bad. And of course, you cannot see them because you can't see your stitches at all with this yarn, which is, not the easiest to work with in the whole wide world. You will notice that I am using a stitch marker. Oh, there's Lily. Hi, Lily. Some of you have noticed that I don't always use stitch markers because usually I kind of just count in my head, or I just use the rows that you can see to count, and it's not a big deal. And if I get off a stitch or 2, I can always fix it. But with this yarn, you really just, you can't see your stitches. You can't see your rows, really anything. So I am using a little stitch marker there. And I do think it looks really cool. It is, like I said, not the easiest to work with, but it does have this really cool effect of really not even looking crocheted when you're done with it. So I do really enjoy this. I do feel like I'm going to have plenty of yarn. I still have a lot left over. And so we are going to continue on the body. I think I am going to go get nice and cozy on the couch, and we'll just continue on vibing with our little owl here. I don't know that it looks exactly like the owl from the reference photo once it's worked up, but I do think it looks cool nonetheless. So let's go get cozy on the couch and continue working on our cute little owl. Hello guys, it is the next day. I dyed my hair last night. I am feeling good and refreshed. And this is how far I've gotten on my little owl. It looks a little bit creepy right now, to be honest. I think I'm going to save the face details for later. And we are going to start working on the sweater for now. So I did spend some time looking up some different flower granny square patterns. And there's a lot of really fun ones, and I thought about trying a more complicated one, but we are going to go with this one because there are 4 colors on it, and that is how many colors I bought is 4. And a lot of the flower patterns were calling for like 5 different colors for some reason, and I only have 4. So I am going to start on that right now. So he is like tilted like this, so the front of the shirt will go right here. So I'm going to do 1 granny square for the front, 1 granny square for the back, and then we'll kind of sew them together in such a way that it looks like a sweater. And then we'll start adding on the sleeves. And I realized that I did these sort of like flouncy wings with the curves at the end, which I probably shouldn't have done since I am going to put sleeves over them. But that's okay. I might just do like some wider sleeves that can kind of go all the way down to here. I don't know. We'll see how it looks once we get there. But for now, we are going to make 2 of the flower granny squares, and then we'll go from there. Okay, here is our finished granny square. I love the way it looks. I love the way these colors look together. So cute. Problem is, it is too big for our owl. It takes up the entire body. It looks more like a dress than a sweater. So I did just continue on with the 5mm crochet hook when it came to this. And so I think what I'm going to do is make the exact same pattern, but use this 3.75 hook. So it will be quite a bit smaller, but if it's smaller, then we will have room to put like ribbing around it to make it look like a real sweater, like do a little like turtleneck or something. Like there's a lot more possibilities of things we could do, whereas this is just taking up the entire plushie, and I just don't like the way that looks. It doesn't look like a sweater. I didn't really think about that going in. I was like, I'll just make the granny square and it'll fit, right? Wrong. I think I am going to have to redo it, but I'd rather redo it now. Like I was like, oh, I could just try it out, make the second one, force it. No, I'm going to start over. I'm going to go with my gut. If I don't like it, then I'm just not going to like the finished product, and I don't want that to happen. But I do really love the way this granny square looks. I love the pattern. Love the colors. I love everything else about it, just not the size. So we are just going to start over and make it in a smaller hook. Okay, I finished the smaller one. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is smaller. It is smaller. Let's compare it to our owl. Okay. It's definitely smaller. It's definitely smaller. It's not as small as I was expecting it to be when I use such a smaller hook. But I mean, with the yarn, the way that it is and using the exact same pattern, it was only going to be able to be so much smaller. But I do think that looks a lot better. This is definitely taking a bit longer than I expected to. But, you know, I think it's going to be worth it in the end. I do see it starting to come together. It's starting to come together. So let's make our second granny square exactly like this one, and then we'll sew them together. Okay, here is where we are at. Are you seeing the vision now? Look at that. You gonna come say hi? Yeah, okay. Okay. Lily is over here and I'm giving her some scritches while I talk to you. But your tail is knocking over everything. If you have a golden retriever, then you know that their tails they're diabolical. She knocks down that yarn shelf right there is not safe. She knocks down yarn from it literally every single day with her tail. And now she's knocking things on my desk. It's fine. Anyways, here is the sweater sewed together. Now, is it perfect? Is it perfectly sewed together? No. But are you seeing the vision? Now, part of me wishes that maybe I only did the front portion of the sweater in the flower and then did the back portion just all in white. Would that have looked better? I don't know, but I'm not redoing it at this point. I've already had to redo granny squares. I've already made 3 today. And so I'm just going to go with this. And I think that it's going to look a lot better once we add in some ribbing around the top. I want it to look like she's wearing a little turtleneck. So cute. And then we'll do like maybe just a little bit of ribbing at the bottom. And then, of course, the sleeves around here to make it look like she's wearing a little sweater. And then I don't know if this is enough of the floral detail. I may add like a cute little flower headband to make her extra cute. We will see once we get to that. But I'm going to go take a break, have some lunch, and then we will continue working on the little sweater. I do think it's really cute though. I can see the vision now. It is coming together. Okay, the crocheting for the sweater is done and I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this sweater, you guys. It is so cute. Look at all these ends I have to weave in now. Oh my goodness, so many ends. These little details definitely took much longer than I expected, but I really wanted to do the contrast ribbing on the sleeves and the bottom. I really think that just adds such a cute touch. And I am a little bit obsessed right now with making animals in sweaters. I think I'm going to do a video where I show everything that I made for Christmas this year. I wanted it to be up earlier, but just because of the nature of actually having to make the things to show you, I don't think it's going to come out until Christmas Day. I think it'll be just a fun little chatty thing where I show you all of the things that I made for everyone for Christmas. And I have made each of my nieces and nephews an animal in a sweater for Christmas. Yep. I was thinking about giving this to one of my nieces, but I'm already, it's too cute. I have to keep it. I have to keep this one. I'm already giving the pig that I made in my last video to my nephew, and I just can't do it again. I can already tell that I'm going to want to keep this because I'm obsessed. So I need to go weave in a bunch of ends. So many ends, do the face details, and then make her some little feet, and she'll be done. I thought about adding a little headband with a little flower on it. I don't know. We'll see once I get the face done. Hello. We will see if I decide after I make the face if it needs a little flower headband. It might. I don't know. But this sweater is so cute. Now I want one. I want to make a sweater for me like this. Should I make a video of me making a matching sweater? That would be hilarious. Anyway, I got to weave in these ends now. Super fun, but I am so excited that this is almost done. Okay, so she is all done, and I am doing my outro from my couch today, mostly because I am just too lazy to want to put everything over there in front of my yarn. I'll have to move everything, and it's nice and cozy here, and we've got Lily. So I think I'm just going to do my outro from here today for a change. So now let's talk final thoughts of my cute little owl. Now, as far as the yarn goes that I was able to find at the Dollar Tree, if you've ever tried any of this yarn before, then you will know that for $1.25 per skein, it's pretty great. It's not the best yarn in the world. It's not like this yarn is the softest yarn ever. I would relate it probably the most to like Big Twist Value. It's kind of similar to that. I really love the colors that I was able to find. Now, if I were to make this again, which by the way, I got enough yarn that if I wanted to, I could make a whole nother owl. I definitely overestimated how much yarn I would need for this project. And so now I have a lot of leftovers. If I were to make this again, I do think that I would start over yet again on the granny squares and make them even a little bit smaller because I'm a little bit disappointed of how much of the body the sweater takes up, because then you can't see very much of this cute black and white yarn. And I love this black and white yarn. I love the effect that it gives. And the sweater just kind of covers almost the entire thing. As you can see, it almost looks more like a dress, which is actually okay. It's a very cute look, but it wasn't really initially what I was going for. So if I were to do it again, I would make that initial granny square even smaller than I did, or look up a different pattern. I'm not really sure, but it is just a little bit large, and you can see a little bit of the effect of this cool yarn, but not as much as I would like. Now, does it look like an owl? I'm not really sure. I feel like it kind of looks more like a reverse penguin, but that's okay. And I got to discover a whole new species of owl that I had no idea existed. So that makes me really happy when I look at this and I can think of those cute little black and white owls. I really love the colors that I chose for the sweater. I kind of had some doubts at first. There really just weren't a ton of options and like pretty floral colors. And these are a little bit muted, as you can tell, like a little bit more pastel as opposed to bright. I was hoping to find some really bright colors. They just didn't have any. So I had to go with what they had. And I'm actually really, really happy with the way that it looks all together. I think it is so cute. I love the addition of the little flower headband. I think it definitely gives a nice little touch. I think the face is cute. It's simple but effective. I always love some happy embroidered eyes like that. And I definitely think it was a better choice than trying to use the beads. I didn't end up using those beads for anything because I just wasn't sure how I would want to incorporate them. So we'll just add them to the stash and maybe use them for another project in the future. We'll see. Now, you know that most of the time when I make sweaters for animals, what I do is just kind of switch colors so that it looks like a sweater, but it's really just part of the same project. This is a whole other sweater. Like, I could take this off potentially. I'm not going to, just in case it would be too hard to get back on, but I potentially could take this sweater off and on. Now, not the headband. I did have to sew that part on. I definitely loved doing that, though. I would definitely in the future make another sweater in this way where you basically are just making a tiny little sweater instead of just changing the color to give the sweater look. It definitely takes a while. This project took a lot longer than I expected, but I do think in the end that it was worth it. Now I just need to figure out how to make a me-size sweater like this because I'm kind of obsessed with it. And you guys know that I'm a novice when it comes to making sweaters. So help a girl out and tell me how I can make a sweater like this in my size. So from me and Lily and our cute little floral owl, thank you so much for watching today's video. And of course, if you made it to this part, I want to know, what were you working on as you watched today's video? If you did like today's video, be sure to hit the like button. You can subscribe, stick around. Let me know what other kind of videos you want to see next. Follow me on Instagram. Check out my Etsy shop. You can join my Patreon where I make bonus videos as well as an exclusive pattern once a month. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.